What's up, people who are going to tell me my opinions are trash in the comments section? My name is TJ, and these are my top 5s of 2017. I've got my list of all my top 5s right here. I'm going to be looking at it as we go through the video. You can judge me if you want to, but I wasn't about to commit this thing to memory. We're going to be going through albums, movies, and video games, okay? And then at the end, I'm probably going to mention a bunch of songs, artists, and actors that I think had a great year. Please understand, too, before we get into any of this, these are my top 5s. So out of albums, it's going to be stuff that I've listened to, and out of movies, it's going to be what I've watched, and out of video games, it's going to be what I've played. So you're probably not going to agree with them, but hopefully you're going to hear some artists, some movies, maybe even some video games that you haven't heard of that you might be willing to try out. You guys know I'm all about music, so let's start off with the top 5 albums of 2017. Number 5 is Digital Drug Lord by Black Bear. Digital Drug Lord was the first that I had actually heard of Black Bear, and as soon as I got into his music, it was all downhill from there. I went into all of his old stuff. Anything that I could find with Black Bear, I started listening to. It turns out I was actually already listening to him through Hoodie Allen and G-Eazy. So he's a pretty dope artist. If you haven't heard of him, definitely check him out. I would warn you, however, his other album that he also released this year is absolutely terrible. I think it's called Cybersex. It was like he took everything from Digital Drug Lord, said what on this was bad, and then expanded on that. And it was awful. I don't know why he would do that. Number 4 for albums is Gemini by Macklemore. You guys know Macklemore was going to make it on this list if you know me at all. Gemini being Macklemore's first solo album in a really long time since he started doing music with Ryan Lewis. Actually ended up being really, really good. It was very different. The album wasn't as emotional as I wanted it to be. With his previous albums like The Heist and This Unruly Mess I've Made, we get into a little bit of Macklemore's past and get into what has formed him into the artist that he is today. Gemini was a little bit of a different cut from that. That was more of his fun stuff. He did get a little bit into his personal life, but it was all kind of stuff that seemed more like radio hits, but they were all still good songs, so no complaints here. Number 3 is The Beautiful and Damned, and god damn it, G-Eazy does it again. He already had me with When It's Dark Out, which I held as his best album at the time, but The Beautiful and Damned might honestly take the cake for the simple fact that he took everything that I loved about When It's Dark Out and he took it one step further. The Story of Us by Quint92 is number 2 on my list of top 5 albums. He is someone who I had no idea about, and he broke onto the scene like that, it seemed like. I had never heard of him and then got into his music, and now suddenly it seems like he's everywhere. So that's awesome. I really think that within the next year or two, he's probably going to be on the radio, and that's going to be huge, and I'm really stoked to see his come up. And last but not least, another come up kid by Kid Quill. The album 94.3 The Real takes the number 1 spot for my top 5 albums of 2017. Guys, this album is absolutely incredible. If you are going to listen to it, and I highly hope that you do, you should listen to the first song, don't skip, don't shuffle, and just let it play all the way through. Because the reason it's called 94.3 The Real is because the entire album plays out as if it were a radio show. They do it in such a fun way that it does things that albums don't really do anymore. A lot of times albums are just a collection of songs thrown together, and that's it. When people do fun stuff with their albums where each song seamlessly flows into the next one, I really, really appreciate that. And I don't know if I've seen something like that since like the 2020 Experience by Justin Timberlake, at least with what I listen to. Let's get into movies. My top 5 movies of 2017. And starting off with number 5, and that is Star Wars The Last Jedi. Star Wars made me really stoked that I waited until the very end of the year to make this list, for the simple fact that I had already had my top 5, and then I watched Star Wars The Last Jedi and said, this needs to go on my top 5 because this movie was absolutely incredible. People that have been complaining about Star Wars The Last Jedi, I think are crazy. I don't know what your issue was with it. I thought that it was a roller coaster ride the whole time. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I think it really adds to the story of this final trilogy. If you want to debate with me on that and tell me why I'm wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments below. We can get into it down there. Number 4 is the Disney movie Coco, which will tug at your heartstrings as Disney normally does. It's a fantastic movie that has a lot of really different elements to it. is kind of the best way that I can put it without giving much away. Visually, it's a very stunning movie. The artistry of what is done in that movie just looks beautiful. And of course, as Disney's done in the past, they have very compelling characters that you are very invested in all the way throughout the entire movie. So they did a fantastic job on Coco. Number 3 is Logan. It was really nice to see Hugh Jackman reprise his role as Wolverine one last time, if it is one last time. It was really dope to see a rated R version of Wolverine, although there were some times when I thought that they took it a little over the top, and since they had an R rating to work with, they maybe pushed it a little too far. Like, for example, Professor X swearing for really no reason at all when it wasn't a part of his character. I kind of had an issue with that. It was a very gritty movie, it was a very emotional movie, and overall I think it deserves a spot as one of the best movies of 2017 by far. For being a superhero movie that had a totally different take on what superheroes can be and what they are in terms of how we're doing things nowadays with superheroes, it was a really nice change and it was really nice to see. Number 2, and you guys were waiting for it, Spider-Man Homecoming. Hey, how's that not number 1? Well, that's because my number 1 is A1, Bay1, but I'm going to get to that in a second. Right now, we're talking about Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming was everything that we have been waiting for in a Spider-Man movie, if you ask me. It has a really great Peter Parker. We had a fantastic Vulture. I think they did a great job with blending him in with everything else going on in the MCU, so that was really neat. The way that they've done his suit and his relationship with Tony is everything that I wanted it to be. I could not be more happy with Spider-Man Homecoming as a superhero movie, as a Spider-Man movie, and as just a movie in general. It was all around fantastic, and I don't have a bad thing to say about it. And number 1 for my top 5 movies of the year is Baby Driver. If you haven't seen Baby Driver, because for some reason it was such an underground movie, please go watch it. It is fantastic and it is for everyone. When I went to go see Baby Driver, I wasn't expecting much. Honestly, I saw cool car chases and that was it. That was the only thing compelling me to see this movie, is I saw cool car chases. I convinced 4 of my friends to go with me and go see this movie, all 4 who are into different things, who are into different kinds of movies, and we all walked out saying, wow. And I think all of us have held it to be our top movie of 2017 because it was that freaking fantastic. It's about a driver for heists who helps, robs banks. He drives the getaway car. It was a totally different role for Ansel to play. He also does EDM music, in case you didn't know. So he's just a jack of all trades, master of all, apparently. Go watch Baby Driver. Go watch Baby Driver. Right now. I don't even know why you're watching the rest of this YouTube video. It's not near as good as Baby Driver. Go watch the trailer on YouTube. I'll wait. It's like a 2-minute trailer. I'll give you a while. So you watched the trailer. Looks incredible, right? Maybe you went and watched the whole movie before you came back to this video. Even better. I appreciate that. I appreciate that level of commitment. Baby Driver is fucking fantastic. Let's get into my top 5 video games of 2017. So here's the problem when it comes to the top 5 games of 2017. I did not actually get 5 games that came out in 2017. There were only 3 games that I even purchased throughout 2017. But I still ranked them. Okay, so we're going to go over them, and we'll see what you guys think. Number 3 is Destiny 2. Oh, why would you even have Destiny 2 on that list? Because I am a Destiny fanboy, and no matter what Bungie does to Destiny, I'm still probably going to love it because it's always going to be, at its core, a fun game. Now, am I pissed off with a lot of the things Bungie has done to the game? Yes, of course I am. I think any avid player would be. However, it is still a fun game. It's still something that I can get on and enjoy and have a lot of fun with when I play with my friends. So, game number 2 is Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. If you guys watch the hype, you would know why I love this game, and it is because they did everything that I thought they were going to. They made the game the way that the games were originally. They just threw new paint on it. That's it. They didn't change anything. They made it so that way you can play Coco now throughout every game as well. But that was pretty much it. They left everything the same. They just made it look beautiful, and they made it playable on PlayStation 4s today. And for that, like, that's all we wanted. That's all we wanted. We didn't want anything but Crash Bandicoot with better graphics, and that's what they gave us at a very fair price. So I'm super happy. Crash Bandicoot is not only one of my top games of 2017, but probably one of my top games just of all time. And for number 1 for video games, I've got Need for Speed Payback. This might come as a shock to most of you who have been playing Need for Speed games for the past couple of years and have realized that they're absolute trash, but Need for Speed Payback has completely changed the game. Literally, they've literally changed how these games are played. I at one point was actually going to make a review video about Need for Speed Payback, but because I was getting into all these other things with my channel, it kind of got pushed back, and now it's not even a topical thing anymore, so I figured it probably wasn't even going to be best to make the video. But believe me, there's a lot of key reasons why Need for Speed Payback is great. I would love to delve into all those for you, but really the top 3 are going to be, 1 is going to be graphics. The game looks beautiful and has different times of day, so you can actually see your car during the day like you should be able to, so you can actually see how beautiful it is. Number 2 is car customization. They included all the car customization from the Need for Speed from 2015. You can customize your car down to every little detail of the exterior, and I absolutely love that. And 3, we actually have different classes of cars again. The story is actually compelling. That's another reason. I guess that's reason number 4 to play the game, but you have to check it out for yourself to find out just how great of a game Need for Speed Payback is. If the last couple games have pissed you off, try Need for Speed Payback, because you're going to get a little bit of taste of Underground, a little bit of taste of Most Wanted, a little taste of all the things that we've been waiting for in a Need for Speed game for so long. So check it out. I'm also going to go over some songs, some artists, and some actors. I didn't necessarily break these down into a top 5 because I just made a list of what I thought was great this year. So I'm going to go over these lists, and these are in no particular order, starting off with songs. Open Arms by Pretty Much, Thief by Ansel Elgort, I'm the One by DJ Khaled, Designer by Gianni and Kyle, Strip That Down by Liam Payne, Plot Twist by Mark E. Basie, and Different Skies by Shafi. You should check out all those songs. I'm sure they're on my Spotify playlist somewhere. They're probably all on my fave playlist, honestly, because I love them that much. But you should check out those songs, and let me know what you think in the comments, if you like those songs or not, or whatever you want to let me know about. Let me know what you ate for lunch today. That'd be fine, too. Some musical artists that did really great this year as well. Ansel Elgort, of course, Cashmere Cat, Pretty Much, new boy band coming on the scene right there with Pretty Much, so I'm really stoked about that. Cheat Codes, Demi Lovato, G-Eazy, Halsey, Kid Quill, Liam Payne, Macklemore, Mark E. Basie, NF, Zayn, and Zed. They all had a really great year. I couldn't narrow that down to 5, and even if I did, I'd probably go on forever as to why these artists are doing great. Some of these artists really are not getting as much attention as I think that they should, so if you heard a name in there that maybe you've heard before or something that piqued your interest, definitely check them out. And some actors that I thought had a really great year this year was Dylan O'Brien with his American Assassin, Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Spider-Man Homecoming, Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine, and Millie Bobby Brown as playing Eleven in Stranger Things 2. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I probably could have just typed this up in like a post or something like that, but I thought video format would be more fun because then I can display things over here for you guys to see visually. I want to know what your guys' top 5s were, so please let me know in the comments below or via Twitter. Just tweet at me at Pyrataz_3. Hey, I appreciate you liking this video, and I appreciate you sharing this video with your friends. I will catch you guys next time. See you later. Oh.